What's up guys, it's Tensei here and today we are going to look at what I think Zane Truesdale will get in the Speed Duel GX box. So, let's get right into it then. First we have the obvious or controversial Cyberdragon. So, a 2100 beater that summons itself for free if your opponent's the only person who controls a monster. So, it is kinda hard to just bring in Zane without bringing in Cyberdragon, because that's his most used monster and what he bases everything around basically. But it's really strong. So I could definitely see them cutting this and maybe going with Cyber Darks only and maybe some like other weird cyber cards that exist like Cyber Kirin or Esper, Phoenix and Valley. But if they do bring in Cyberdragon, I think it's going to make things a lot faster. You can bring it into a inner conflict deck and then you special Cyberdragon, take control of your opponent's monster, tribute for a level 6 and then just easy OTKs from there, or even spellproof armor that just lets you bring in a 2100 beater that's unaffected by spells for free, and then you can normal summon the LF Justice Clausulus for a neat 4400 damage. So then if you have any monster removal after that, yeah, that's a game as well. So it could be really problematic, but it's a fan favorite and Konami has a good track record of just power creeping speed duels, I guess. Yeah, and the alternate art as well. Then to complement the Cyberdragon, there's Proto Cyber that just becomes Cyberdragon on the field. If they don't want to give us the actual Cyberdragon, there's also the option that they'll give us some Cyberdragon cards that just kind of suck, to be honest, but they would be needed to make something like Cyber Twin Dragon work. So if they want to give us the fusions without the original Cyberdragon, this is the way to do that. Cyberdragon Core is pretty good, maybe a little too good as well. But it depends on what else we get, like getting everything here, again, might be a little too much. But there's more, I put a lot of options here since I don't really know what Konami is thinking, so I want to cover anything that I think is possible, not that this whole list is going to be in at once. So, it adds cyber spell traps on summon, so it would be like Repair Plant, Revolution, Impact. There's a few options they can do, maybe some other cards that I didn't bother putting in here since I don't think they're that interesting. And yeah, then you can banish this from your grave and special the Cyberdragon monster from your deck, so this could be anything like the original, Proto or Zwei. Anything like that works here. And again, this is a little nasty if they give us the original, since you could technically like foolish this and then special Cyberdragon, and that's just extra copies of your 2100 beater that you summon for free. So this is definitely on the problematic scale, but could get in to just bring in hype and get the power level a bit higher again. And yeah, then Cyberdragon Zwei, it's not that great. It gains 300 ring attacks, so it's 1800, which is okay, but then you can just get run over by anything, since most things have 1600, unless anything that like wants to attack at least. And then yeah, you can reveal a spell and make this become Cyberdragon until the end phase, and it's always Cyberdragon in the graveyard for anything that cares about that, like Repair Plant or like Overload Fusion maybe, which I did not include, but hey, maybe they will add it. I just don't think they will. Yeah, then for Cyberdragon related spells and traps, there's Cyber Repair Plant, so if you have a Cyberdragon in your grave, you can activate one of these effects, or if you have 3 or more, you can activate both in sequence. So add a light machine from your deck to your hand, or shuffle a light machine from your graveyard into your deck. So this could do some fun stuff, mostly it's just for the actual Cyberdragon stuff. So you can add a new Cyberdragon and just have more consistency, although this won't get you started since you need a Cyberdragon in your graveyard in the first place, unless you have like this and maybe a discard of Foolish Burial. Then Evolution Burst says that if you control a Cyber Dragon, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it, but Cyber Dragon cannot attack the turn you activate this. So it's nice targeting removal, just pretty simple and effective. And Cybernetic Revolution says you tribute a Cyber Dragon and special a fusion that lists Cyber Dragon, but it cannot attack directly and it's destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. So this would mean that you actually get some value from that Proto Cyber. Just tributing it will be enough to bring out Cyber End Dragon, but you also can just use this and then maybe pop your opponent's board with Offerings or Moth and then attack directly with a Cyber End, so you would have to attack a monster after, which I think makes this balanced enough so that it doesn't create too many stupid OTKs, but it's also decently powerful and would let you dodge some removal effects on your Cyber Dragon cards. And then we have the second option, so if they do decide that no, we don't do Cyber Dragon stuff because it gets too messy and too powerful with bringing the original Cyber Dragon, we have the Cyber Darks, and honestly I think we are going to use the Duel Links artwork anyway, which is the Black Coat Zane, who is known for using Cyber Darks. So I think even if we do get Cyber Dragon, there's probably going to be some Cyber Dark stuff mixed in. Anyway, all the machine Cyber Darks share the effect that they target a level 3 or lower dragon in your grave and special equip it, and then they gain attack equal to that monster's original attack. So they potentially become 2400 beaters if you use the Cyber Dark Cannon and Cyber Dark Claw, and then each of them have another effect. So if Keel destroys monster by battle, inflict 300 damage to your opponent, and if Horn attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing, and if Edge has Edge can just attack directly, but its attack will be half during damage calculation only, and each of them say that if they would be destroyed by battle, you destroy the equipped monster instead. So pseudo union stuff, and they have been really bad before, but what makes them nice is the other support here, Cyber Dark Cannon and Cyber Dark Claw. So both of them discard themselves. Cannon can add a machine Cyber Dark by discarding itself, and Claw adds a Cyber Dark spell or trap. Then if Cannon gets sent to the graveyard while equipped, you draw a card, and if Claw gets sent to grave while equipped, you add a Cyber Dark from your grave to your hand. And then they all both have battle effects, so if a monster equipped with Cannon battles, you get to send a monster from your deck to the grave, and Claw has the same effect except it sends from the extra deck instead. Right now we don't really have anything cool to toolbox from the extra deck, I think, but there could always be something new. What you could do here, of course, is send like a big dragon, like Ultimate Dragon, and then bring out Cyber Dark Dragon, and Cyber Dark Dragon then gets to equip the Ultimate Dragon to become really huge. And yeah, I think these are really nice if we get Cannon and Claw as well, but without them, I don't see much viability for a Cyber Dark focused strategy. Yeah, finishing the Cyber Darks is Cyber Dark Impact. So this is what you add with Claw. You get to fusion summon a Cyber Dark Dragon from your extra deck by shuffling one of each of the machines, so Edge, Keel, and Horn, from hand, field, or graveyard in the deck. So this means you don't have to go neg during the fusion summon. You can just let all of them go to your graveyard one by one, if you play like a grindy matchup. And then this one card brings out the Cyber Dark Dragon, and then you just get to use all the nice stuff you already have loaded in your graveyard to feed the Cyber Dark Dragon's attack. So yeah, let's look at Cyber Dark Dragon now, I suppose, to give more context to impact. So if it's special summoned, you can target a dragon monster in your grave and equip it to this card. So that's where you just equip the blue-eyes Ultimate Dragon you may be sent with Cyber Dark Claw. which would already make this 5500 attack. And then it also gains 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. So, well, you maybe shuffle some of the Cyberdarks back, but you'd still maybe have a few to make this even 6k. So that's already game through full life points on a monster with 2000 attack, which is not bad. And also, if this would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy the equipped monster instead. Honestly, if this has even like over 3000 attack, it's not going to get destroyed by battle. But, well, it doesn't hurt to have that effect. Just won't matter most of the time. Unless they, well, okay, if they use something to destroy the, well, no, then it, yeah, no. Never mind. If they destroy the equipped, you don't have anything to destroy instead. Moving on, we have some non-Cyber Dragon or Cyber Dark related cyber machines. So Esper lets you look at every card your opponent draws while it's in attack. It's kinda cute. You could use this with some existing cards like Mind Crush or Drop Off, so you know when to use those cards effectively. But it's a little slow and takes your normal summon, but hey, maybe someone finds a use for it. And Cyber Phoenix says that if it's an attack, you can negate any spell or trap that target the machine you control. So this would mean your stuff is safe from Offerings or Book of Moon. And that's pretty cool. And if it's destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can draw one card. So it's going to replace itself even if your opponent tries to remove it with battle. And that's also going to happen a lot more often, since this can also protect itself from spells and traps that target it. And then Cyber Valley is a pretty classic card, and some TCG players from older times will remember this card well. So if it's targeted for an attack, you can banish it and draw one card, then end the battle phase. So if your opponent can't out this with effects, this will buy you one turn and give you a draw even. So you get to dig deeper through your deck to get something you want, like a Parasite Paranoid or maybe a Tribute monster. And you can also banish this and another face-up monster you control to draw 2. So that's not going to save you as much time, but you get to go even deeper, and maybe you have something useless, or maybe like a Breaker that already used its effect, so it's not going to do much on the field anymore. And getting to turn that into more advantage is pretty cool. And you can also target a card in your graveyard, banish this and that card. Banish this and one card from your hand and place that target in your graveyard on top of your deck. So you can recycle some powerful cards. It's a little slow, but hey, it has 3 different options you can do, so it's a pretty versatile card. And moving on with some other spells, there's Machine Duplication. And let me say that in my Jaden video, I said that Jaden used Card Trooper, and that could be cool. But no, I don't think we should get both Card Trooper and Machine Duplication. And if I had to choose, I would rather take the Trooper. But if they give us just like enough weak machines, but not some stupid broken big machines, this could be fine. I also think this would be a little stupid with Core and Cyber Dragon, to give you like 4600 damage at once, which is also nasty, but hey, it could be in if we don't get a lot of other good stuff. And then, this is a very popular card I think as well, although it has been nerfed in the TCG since its prime, but I think the nerfed effect is still good enough for speed duel environments. So, during your first standby phase after this card's activation, so it does nothing for one turn, you can show a fusion in your extra deck and send its materials from your main deck to the graveyard. And then during your second standby phase, you can fusion one fusion monster with the same name from your extra deck. And if this leaves the field, you destroy that target, and when that's destroyed, you destroy future fusion. So this would get you the Cyber Dark Dragon as well, sending all the materials from your deck to the graveyard directly with just one card, just a little slow. Or making the Cyber Twin Dragon, and just anything. You can even use this for like Dark Paladin, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, any old fusions that exist in the game. Just you have to wait a little, and that might be detrimental for this card's success, like a lot of decks just play easy spell trap removal, and that might get even worse with GX potentially. So I think it's low enough to warrant being a 1-card fusion monster. But yeah, I think you could even play it, especially if you like have some other stuff to protect your life points while you wait for that fusion. And yeah, Duel from a different dimension can return up to 3 banished monsters to the graveyard. So this could be a counter to Unions. In a way, I guess you can like stop the scramble to give it like so they don't get huge board presence. But then again, they can fuse those cards after that, so probably not that great for that purpose. But you can also like do your own stuff. Let's say you banish your monsters for a rock spirit. You can bring those monsters back with this, or just, yeah. It's a versatile generic card, and you can probably figure out more uses for it as well. Rebirth Judgment is a newer card, as in it's not going to be released in a TCG for a couple more months. So this is not as likely to be in here, but it's a very useful card, I think, and Zane did use it a couple of times to make non-dragon type monsters become dragons. So you could, for example, use your Cyber End Dragon as an equip for Cyber Dark Dragon with this card. And of course, it's like an anti-meta card. You can make your opponent's Spellproof armor deck just fall apart with this, but that's also maybe another reason why some people might not want such a blowout card against Spellproof armor. Yeah, it's most likely going to be not included because it's not going to be out in the TCG for some more time. Then Infernal Dragon is a Zane card, but it's not exactly like directly tied to his deck. In the end phase, if this attack this turn, you have to destroy it, and if it's destroyed and sent to a grave, you can tribute a monster and special it from your grave. So it's just a big dragon monster with a big body, but yeah, you're not going to be able to just keep destroying stuff with it for free. It will destroy itself, but it's a cool dragon. People like dragons. Explorer Dragon is a little better. So anything that destroys this by battle will be destroyed as well, and neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this attacking card. So it's a dragon for Cyberdarks to equip, and you can basically just suicide crash it into anything to give you a dragon version of Exile Force in a way, since you won't take any damage. Well, if you decide to crash it into something even on your own turn. And finally, for the main deck, we have the Light Hex Sealed Fusion. So the intended purpose for this card in this deck is that you have a Cyber Dragon on the field, summon the Light, and then tribute the Light Hex Sealed Fusion with the Cyber Dragon and bring out Twin Dragon from your extra deck. But it can also just be used as a substitute monster for anything, even if you don't use like its own effects. Yeah, that's it for the main deck. We have a couple more extra deck monsters I did not touch upon yet. So there's Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, which is not something I especially want to have, but hey. It could be interesting. It would definitely make machine decks hurt a bit more. And it's also inherently a counter against Cyber Dragon, which could be something that makes the card a little more balanced in the meta. So, its materials are Cyber Dragon and 1+ machine monsters, and it can be used as fusion material itself. And you summon it by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard. So that means if your opponent has a Cyber Dragon and a machine monster, you can just summon these from your extra deck during your own turn and don't have to use any of your own resources for it. Unfortunately, this also means that a Cyber Dragon player can special their Cyber Dragon and get rid of an opponent's XYZ Dragon Cannon for free. So it's a little like a double-edged sword in that way. It can be used for and against Cyber Dragons. So I'm not sure if it's overall going to nerf them or make them better. It is really annoying to play around. You basically have to answer the Cyber Dragon on summon if you play machine decks. But it's definitely an interesting card. That much I can say. Then Cyber Twin Dragon takes 2 Cyber Dragons and can attack twice during each battle phase. This will be much more easier to resolve than a Cyber End Dragon summon, and oftentimes it can even deal more damage. Like, yeah, sure, it's not one big attack and it's worse against defense stuff, but overall it takes 5600 damage on an empty board, and even if your opponent has like something small, you can maybe still go for game. And then Cyber End Dragon takes 3 Cyber Dragons, is 4k attack and does piercing. So this can definitely make your opponent get close to death if they play more defense cards like Apprentice Magician with low defense. But it takes 3 Cyber Dragons to summon, so it's a little resource intensive, and especially if you like lose this, you might be just ready to die at that point. And finally there's Chimera tech Overdragon. So this is a little nasty, but I did not include Overload Fusion, so this is not as insane, I suppose. So if this is Fusion summon, you have to send all other cards you control to the graveyard, so you can't just like do other plays first and then summon this for some extra damage. No, it will get rid of any setup you had before, and then its attack and defense become equal to fusion materials used for it. So yeah, it takes Cyber Dragon and 1+ machine monsters. So if you have a lot of machines, you could make this maybe 4000 attack with like Cyber Dragon 4 other machines, and then each turn can attack your opponent's monsters number of time equal to number of materials used for it. So it's going to be clearing their board, but if they don't have a lot of monsters, you won't be able to do that much damage since it can't do any direct attacks. Honestly, it's maybe a little bad without Overload Fusion, but with Overload Fusion I think we would just make the game a little more faster and give even more ways to OTK your opponent even without Moth, and potentially even in conjunction with Moth. But yeah, this is what I think Zane could get. There are maybe some other cards that I could have missed, or maybe just didn't want them, like just felt like they were boring or not that fascinating. But if you have anything that you'd like to say about my ideas or your own ideas, please leave a comment down below and subscribe for more videos on speed duels and especially the GX box. And if you like this video, go hit the like button, and we'll see you next time. Bye.